Good morning, traders. Welcome to the one, the only pre-market prep.
Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Where are all the volatile puppies at, man? I know you guys are out there. You guys get this show started with a big thumbs up. Joel Hatt knows exactly what we're talking about. Those volatile puppies out there, man. Let's go ahead and bring on the one, the only Dennis Dick. And of course, we can't forget about Joel Elconin. What's going on, man? Good morning, guys.
Sup?
Hey, well, it's my last day in the office. I will let you guys know that. But one thing I will say is today we're going to live it up. Let's go ahead, enjoy the moment, enjoy the experience. This is where the one, the only pre-market prep. And let's get it started, Joel. Let's see what we have.
All right. Are you ready to go? You ready for you're not even going to have to ask me to share the charts here on this, what should we call this, Friday?
Football Friday?
Fun Football Friday. Yeah, who stayed up late like me watching Tom Terrific do it again, lead the Tampa Bay Bucks to a win. Mitch, good call.
Do they win it all again, Joel? Do the Bucks win it all again? Can you stop Brady? Can he be stopped? He's the NFT machine. Can he be stopped?
44. 44 years old.
I don't think it matters. I think he's ageless.
I
don't think he can be stopped.
To be a GOAT, Michael Jordan. But I mean, I think Brady's starting to
he's better.
Really close. He's better than Jordan, is he?
Yeah, for sure, man.
I don't know. Jordan was awesome, though. I mean, Jordan was unbelievable. He just, I guess Brady. It's the same thing. They both dominate
the rings.
They take it over. The rings, dude. How many did Jordan get? 5, 6?
I think he got 6. But
how many has Brady got now?
What has he got? Like
6?
7?
Both 6?
The hands are full. Let's just say that.
I saw this graphic on the game last night, and do you know who? Like, he has 7. Do you know who has the most baseball rings? And I think it might be like 9 or 10.
Well, it's got to be somebody from the Yankees.
Yeah, very good. Ooh, look at you, Dennis. No one.
It's got to be somebody from the Yankees.
Of course. Yeah, we want
Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra.
Yeah, Yogi Berra.
How many has he got?
I think he has more than Brady.
9?
I think 9 or 10. And then
9 times.
And then
know who has 9 times. Wow.
9 or 10. I'm not sure. And you know who has the most rings out of anybody?
Yogi, look at that. They knew
in
it.
Any sport.
No.
Basketball.
Going to
what team?
What years? 50s, 60s? Where are you going?
Yeah,
I would have to go with Solar. Solar's calling out the Celtics.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Bill
Russell.
He knows.
He has 11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't think Tom Terrific is going to get
Bill
that.
Russell.
All right, I'm going to go ahead.
There's a name you don't hear every day, but he's got 11.
I'm throwing out the hook. I'm bringing us back in here.
Get us in. It's not Mitch. Stocks and Jocks. Joel does that on Tuesdays.
Yeah, this isn't Stocks and Jocks, Joel. Come on.
Let's mess with Mitch today.
We're not calling into
because he stayed out late last night. Mitch, who'd you go out with last night? Who are the culprits?
You partying last night?
I went with Shubs. I went with Chris.
You did up the town? Where'd you go?
I got Shubs to come out, man. Could you?
I didn't know you guys did the night thing last night. I wanted to come down for lunch today. Where'd you go?
I mean, we went out to some bars by Greek Town.
You go Greek Town?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice. It was fun. I did a little sports betting on the side. Lost to Dak, but hey.
How did you lose to Dak? You should have taken the points.
The points.
Oh, you gotta take.
I'm a money line kind of guy.
All right, last thing. My dad's golden rule: never give more than 7. right? So you should have taken those points. Anyways, S&Ps, we're
Let's do it.
ripping. We all have different reasons. I think it's because Biden and Xi had a 20-minute phone
Helpful.
call. Yeah, that's one thing. So we're up 20 and a half handles at 1275, right off the highs of the pre-market session. I gotta learn during rollover just to trade the range, because this has been a range bound week. It's been range bound and crude, up $1.34, up to 70, down to 68, up to 70, down to 68, up $1.32 at 69.48. Gold 1800, up 40 cents right there at 1840. Silver finally supported 24, yet once again up just a couple pennies at 24.20. Quiet week for Bitcoin, down 260 here. Wow, 3 quiet days there. I guess it'll get going over the weekend. Down 260 at 46,385.
That
Ethereum.
Bitcoin chart stopped there because I got some commentary. I'm just looking here.
The coin.
My talk against my book, I have a little bit of Bitcoin there, but when you see a big spike down like that, and then you see the 3 days of consolidation, it often resolves itself from the previous move. The previous move was obviously down. So the big down move, a little consolidation, usually they go lower. The exact opposite when you get a big up move, and then you come back in, it's a little consolidation and go higher. So if I had Bitcoin as a short-term trade right now, I think I'd get out.
Do you want to see a highly correlated chart to that? And I thought of you, Triple D, and then someone asked about it. Did you see what happened to your AbbVie?
I've had AbbVie since birth. I'm not selling it, but yeah, I did. Did you see what happened to Lilly yesterday? Drugs getting hammered, man. Drugs have been hit. Lilly down like 16 yesterday. Biogen, thank Biogen for some of that. It got hit hard too. They're killing my portfolio. The AbbVie, the Biogen. The long-term investing, it's tough, man. People say short-term trading, and if you're a risk taker if you're doing short-term trading. I tell you, you're a risk taker. You're doing long-term investing too, because some of these stocks obviously give back a lot, and obviously they don't always work out your way. But yeah, drugs been getting hit.
It's a rotation out of them, though. I mean, the healthcare for a while there, it was doing pretty well. But that's what it's always about. One thing I always say is that you got to be quick on those rotations, because when you see them, and that you got to react. And I think that you're clearly pointing out a new rotation that's happening right now. It's a rotation out of these names. Yeah. But the Moderna is a good chart to take a look at, because that one was starting to make a move.
One quick on that.
We talked about buying that dip. I didn't.
Yeah, Biogen is now below the announcement level. The approval level.
Giving it all
that
back.
aside, that was an anomaly. But anyways,
if I had it on for a trade, I would have ran the register. I said it that day. My average cost basis is $47. So one thing you have to consider, and tax is a big consideration for not as a prop trader. I got to pay on my break trading stuff. I got to pay 100%. So it's all trading profits. There's no tax breaks. But when I'm holding something my long-term account, I've had Biogen in there for 13 years, and my cost basis is $42 on it. When I sell it at $450, I have a huge tax, So for me to break even on that after-tax basis, I basically got to rebuy it like $350. So you got to really, when you're sitting on those huge, huge gains, there's a tax consequence to that. I'd love to take the Biogen. Maybe let's just say hypothetically, and this is something about long-term investing, and people say, well, you got to take that gain eventually. Well, maybe I'm not trading full-time in 10 or 15 years. Maybe, I'm not making as much money as I was in 10 or 15 years from now, maybe less than that. So, maybe I should be taking those gains then. So you do have to consider the tax consequences when you're taking 1,000% gainers. And that's what that is, like when you're talking a $42 stock to a $450 stock, talking about stock up 900%. You got to consider that stuff. So short-term trading, you don't have to consider any of that stuff. Long-term investing, different animal.
Yeah, that's why you just never sell. Then you just pass it on to your kids.
Well, that's what Joel does. He never sells, he never pays tax.
And then let them worry about it.
The Joel Elconin method.
Perhaps we should add our disclaimer. Please consult your accountant.
Your accountant for sure.
Before making any long-term financial decisions.
Yeah, for sure, man.
100%. Let's go ahead and let's get into some of the earnings stocks today. Did you see Affirm?
I did.
That was
Am I disappointed I'm not in Affirm? I am. I hope Spencer Israel held it.
He might have gotten stopped out.
He might have got stopped out.
Spencer, hope you're in it still.
Do you know this dipped on the initial report? I tried to actually buy it. As soon as it was dipping, it was down $4, and I'm like, I got to try to buy this.
Oh,
so I'm like, this will snap back. It did, and I was like, I actually tried, and you had to be out there to get it down 4 because it literally the algos hit it, and it started just popping in bids, and I was like, there's no way they're going to take the screen. I'm like, there's no way it's staying down. I think they're going to take the screen, and I tried to bid up, and then I was like, I should have just lifted the offer. I could have lifted an offer like 91 when it was 88, but it was wide. I'm like, so then I threw a couple bids, and I'm like, maybe somebody else will hit it. Nobody hit it. And the thing just blasted off in the next 5 minutes, up over 100, up to 110. We do hope, Joe Rogan talking, we do hope Spencer Israel held his shares. He was talking about stopping himself out under 92, so I'm not sure if he got stopped out. But holy mackerel, talk about a move.
Dennis, what's the number one thing I taught you in the office about when a stock's going up?
They don't go right back to the textbook of Joel Elconin, who's my mentor when I started trading. When stocks are going up, they don't hit bids.
Ooh.
It was still it's kind of deciding though. It was a little bit of chop, but they hit it. Sometimes you just got to be out there, but it's always dangerous to have your bid out there going into an earnings report. Because what if it's really, really bad? They slam it down like 10.
Next thing you know, you get hit and you're down 5 points. Also.
Oh, yeah. So it's tough. And trading right off the earnings dips. But what I did say yesterday, good, solid companies that are on hot stories, when they dip, those stocks tend to get bought. That's why Etsy got bought. That's why GME. I'm not saying good. I shouldn't say good, solid, but hot stories. So take away the company's part because we know fundamentals disconnected. But GME story, it still remains hot. They're still piled in there. And they bought that dip too. It just took a couple of hours. It was down for the morning. And then they finally decide, no, we're going to buy this dip. And they ripped it back up and it came all the way back up. AMC, the same exact thing. It was down $2.50 and they bought it right back higher again. Hot stories. You buy those stocks when they're dipping, and it seems to work better than buying a story of a sector that's out of favor dipping. Because again, you got to look at where is the overhead supply? Is there? Is there stock making new highs? All those considerations in, but hot stocks on earnings dips are often a good buying opportunity.
And look where it went to. Also, I mean, you had a pre-market or after hours low 87.13. This Triple D, even though he says he doesn't look at charts, he was looking at charts. He was looking at the parallels. There was one at 87.13.
I didn't look at any of those, to be honest. I just looked at it down 4, and I was like, they'll buy Affirm back.
86.76 was the low. And then, boom, the pre-market low, 87.66. So you would have had to stick your head out there ahead of those lows. I stand corrected. But nice move. Knocking on the door at 115. That's the only number I'm going to give you because you had the spike after hours to 115, and then your 4 a.m. traders said, I want out at 115. So that's your number. Take that out, going to 115.01.
It's hard to chase the stocks up 20 again, even, in the firm's case. You had a couple dips. You had 3 days of red there, buying the dip on good stocks. So not buying the dip on stocks that are going straight down. Like you'd say, okay, well, AbbVie, would I buy the dip on this one? Well, think about the trend, though. AbbVie has not been in an uptrend for a long time. So do we have a turn? AbbVie's defensive, too. If the market goes offense, AbbVie and your drug stocks are defensive. They got a higher yield. AbbVie, nice dividend, 4.82%. Yes, I have it in the long-term portfolio. But, am I adding to it on this dip? I don't know. Like, it's not the same as an Affirm that's got a hot story going right now. Is the AbbVie story hot? Not really. I mean, look at a stock. You want to see one that's just been in the gutter. What about Vertex Pharmaceuticals?
Ooh.
VRTX. The CF, they got the CF drug, obviously, cystic fibrosis. $300 back in July of 2020, making new highs. And you know what? Since then, it's been in a clear downtrend. You think, okay, maybe in their long-term account, this becomes at a point where it's going to have value. But these are hard trades to just bounce right back because there's now so many people who are underwater. So I'm always thinking, about what is, where is the short-term money? Is it caught? Is it, is it ease? When you got stocks making new all-time highs, that's why you got the blue sky territory. That's what we talk about in those. Those are easier to actually go higher. So stock making a new high is actually easier to go higher than a stock making a new low. It's counterintuitive, but that's the way this market works.
Okay. Someone's asking about Affirmed where you sell it. Well, what's your target? Did you have a target at 110? Then, take your target. It just, the way this chart, it just 115. If it gets to 115, where the hell is it going? I mean, it could go to 117, 112, 120, 110, but that just looks like a number sticking out here. S&P is still inching up here, up 20 and a half handles. Heading well, we still got over an hour before the open. A lot of green on my screen. The only thing I see in the red really is the cryptos, and that's about it. I guess
It's an everything rally. 1,000 stocks. I have 1,000 stocks in this one filter that that just and it's mostly S&P and the major components. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red. Well, out of 1,000, there's only 8 in the red.
There's one thing that Joel and I stated yesterday on At the Close that I think is important. We had what now on the SPY 3 straight red days.
So it was 4.
So
it was 4 sounding the alarms. I put a call into Powell, and I'm like, "Come on, 4 down days in a row. I mean, what are you going to do here? Buy the dip?" But I don't want to spend.
The question: should we be selling this rip here today? You make a good point. We've got the 20th anniversry of 9/11 coming up.
A little bit. I don't want to talk a ton about it. But go ahead.
No,
Dennis.
but we got the 20th anniversary coming up over the weekend. Are there going to be some potential people who are like, I don't want to hold, stocks through the weekend because, it's 20th anniversary. I know when they're having the 10th anniversary, everything was on high alert. We haven't really heard that. And obviously, I don't think anything's going to happen. But are there money managers that are saying, I'm just not going to hold through the weekend because we got the 20th anniversary? I don't know. And obviously, there's lots of other things to worry about as well, all the regular worries. But this is a nice rip here this morning. It's a snapback rally. Is this one that just continues to go higher? Maybe. But, are we going to move back into a choppy environment? We are in September. I mean, a lot of people were spooked yesterday selling stocks. Maybe they use this opportunity for the rip here today. I mean, I look at Microsoft. I made that bet with you here, Joel. Ugh. Microsoft had an ugly day yesterday. It was fine all morning, but then they pulled the rug out from under it after 11 o'clock, and it went straight down $5. So that was a big down move for Microsoft. You can snap back a little bit here today. Maybe you ring the register. Or maybe, you lighten up a little bit here just over the weekend. Just as trading, not long. I'm not selling my long-term Microsoft from my retirement account. But, as trades, maybe a little bit of caution.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a while to resolve that one, the 290 versus 310. And it could just chop around here for quite a long time. But people, I don't know, folks. I don't know if we have new listeners or not. Just one quick story, and then we'll move on. But Dennis and I were trading in the Bright office on that day, and we had the TV on, and the first plane hit. Mark Haynes was on. Remember, good old Mark Haynes.
Mark covered it well.
And we were like, they're like, oh, wayward plane just went in. And we're like, oh, wow, this is kind of weird.
Crazy accident.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, wow, we can't believe this happened. And the only, I didn't do much pre-market trading then, but Rob McLister, when the second plane hit and you kind of feel like, okay, this is there's something going on now. There's some kind of coordinated attack.
Oh, yeah, that was a scary.
Yeah, he bought on Instanet. He bought 5,000 shares of ExxonMobil.
Yeah, I thought the oil was.
He thought oil was going to pop.
Yeah,
and then they decided the markets were going to open.
And then they didn't open them for 5 days.
And then we were like, and then they were like, oh, there's planes here and there's planes, and Bush said, old planes out of the sky, and we were up on the 14th, 15th floor. And we're like, and there's oh, there's planes in the area. And I remember looking out the window and saying, it was scary. And Dennis, of course, he leaves, he goes, fills up his truck, takes out $1,000.
I took out a bunch of cash and I filled up my car with gas. And then,
what else did you do?
Well, the biggest thing was they closed the border. I'm a Canadian. I cross the border every day to work at the Detroit Bright office. And I'm like, I can't go home. I'm like, the borders are literally closed right now. So I'm over and obviously stuck in Detroit. I can't even get home. And this was 911. I wasn't actually married yet, but I can't get home. So I'm like, first thing I'm going to do is take out a bunch of cash. Cause I don't know, maybe I'm gonna have to get a hotel, maybe I'm going to have to, but anyways, later in the day, they opened the borders for could only go back to your home country. So Canadians that were in the U.S. could go back to Canada. Americans in Canada could go back to the U.S., but you couldn't cross over it going the other way. So, and it was like a 2-hour wait, but we got across. And but LJ was the one that was all over that, because when the second plane hit, he's like, I'm out of here. And he's like, because he's Canadian too. And he, went to the border, and he got across before they closed the border, because he was anticipating, oh, they're going to close the borders and stuff. I got to get home. So, and he actually did get home. So that was a smart move by him. I got stuck there for about 5 hours, but they did let us home. But it was scary. I mean, it was very, very scary.
And you tell him, and you also picked up a case of beer.
Well, the Canadian in me, right? And I was let's take it back to 2001.
That's like,
what am I? I'm 25 years old. So what's the important things in life? Gas, cash, case of beer.
Miller Lite too, but you bought Miller Lite. You bought Miller Lite. You think you'd buy some Labatt's or whatever. And then, for me, I was calling the school. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, and then finally we got the word, and it was Emily's birthday. I had lunch with her. I was talking about it. She goes, she remembers, like just like not, like they were like, okay, school's over, and like looking, and then maybe I'll put up my story later, but I was home for a week, an entire week. That was unprecedented. And you're seeing this stuff on TV, and Dana at the time was 7 or 8 years old, and she said that I couldn't work, right? And so she was worried about the family, and so she brought me her piggy bank. And she said, here, Dad, I know you can't work this week, but if you need, some help out. And I was just like bawling, man. I was
sweetest girl in the whole world.
I know. I mean, and that was a long week. But hey, 20 years later, we got other things we're facing, but didn't want to spend a ton of time on that. But definitely a memorable moment. And Rob, we got a pop on the reopen. Remember? I remember coming back that day when we finally got to trade, and I think there was like a rally first.
It got hammered, Joel.
It opened though flat.
No, we got absolutely hammered.
There was some.
We were down 600-700 points. Now their oil popped. Popped on it.
Okay.
But the markets. So after 9/11, when we reopened, and I can remember this vividly, we opened down 500 or 600 Dow points the next day. We went down for 3 consecutive days. So it was like 96 or 9,700 the Dow when the attacks happened. We opened like 9,100 the week after. We went down almost 8,000 within 3 days. But then, buy the dip mentality. Look at this. It works again. And if you were coming in and buying the Dow at 8,100, you were rewarded, because then we started to come back up. And I mean, 2001, it was a different animal, the markets then too. Remember, we had the tech bubble burst in 2000. So we were still kind of in, and we were significantly off the highs from the tech bubble burst. So lots of different balls that were being juggled back then. But absolutely the market went down on it, but it was a buy the dip opportunity once again. So that eternal strategy worked even then.
Well, I want to go ahead and take a positive spin to this, because one thing that I did see out of September 11th, and I hope that people can think about this weekend and we can all come together, because that's what happened really. After September 11th is where I felt the most pride to be American, because everyone was just coming together as different, races, color, ethnicities, religions. We all came together as one to understand that this is what we are about here in America, the freedom to do what we do every single day, to trade like we do. It's definitely a blessing. And I think that everybody realized how good we really do have it on days like that. So I think that's something to definitely think about this weekend. Not only think about, the sadness that happened on September 11th, but also think about how we can keep coming together as a country, not really just keep this separation.
Yeah, and I mean, the country is so divided right now, even from vaxxers to anti-vaxxers to everything here. And bringing it together, Mitch, that's what we need to find a way to do. And I don't know how they get there, but I hope that we can get there.
Exactly. Let's go. Let's keep it going. USA all the way. Let's go. Next up, Zscaler with like 4 upgrades this morning. Earnings
last night.
And this is interesting, because I mean, you can tell here the analysts this morning woke up and were just like, we're jumping on
You making me bearish, Mitch? You trying to make me bearish the stock now?
Look at all this. Look, you got Needham, you got JMP, you got BTIG, and all of them are pretty much putting that price target above 320. So we'll see what happens with Zscaler, but definitely some good analysts thinking that this is going to continue.
Triple D, are you going? You want
I
to
would say that
thunder?
number, the all-time high, 293.44. You got to get up over that, and it's not easy sledding either. I don't, and you're not saying I'm selling the 8-point rip on Zscaler. I don't have any trades on it at all, but just caution. I like stocks when they're gapping up and through new all-time highs. When they're gapping up to or getting close to a previous high, you got some resistance there. So this is not clear sledding, even though every analyst is telling you it's going to 320. I'm telling you it's got to get through 293 first.
And I'm telling you what Dennis is telling you. Pre-market high is only 291. You backed off $3 from that. So are you thinking is the high end? But to me, 91 to 93.44. That is the actual all-time high, and it actually opened up at that price. Boom, at the beginning of that month or a beginning of that day session. Ooh, that was the exact high. So there's your levels. Support. I don't know. 286 maybe. That's just throwing a dart on that one. I have no idea where support is on that.
All right, let's keep it running here. Let's go towards I'm going to get us into the last earnings here that I really wanted to talk about was last night, Dave & Buster's play, and it's up pre-market too. So let's take a look at it. They reported a Q2 EPS $1.07, beat the estimate of 58 cents. Sales were at 377.64 million and beat a 356.61 million estimate. The play is on.
Well, people, and I've been going out for the first time, in the last month or so, going out to patio for a beer, trying to enjoy it a little bit more. I don't know if we're going to have to get locked down again in Ontario or not, but trying to enjoy the freedom to a certain extent. So not surprising, last quarter, you're starting to see, some pent-up demand. Obviously, Dave & Buster's would have suffered tremendously in 2020 from lockdowns and from the COVID. So you got a little reopening trade. Is this, now an opportunity to sell into the spike here, Joel? You got lots of resistance up here, 39 to 40. And is, going forward, if we've got Delta picking up steam a little bit, we've seen reopening stocks getting hit. This is clearly a reopening play. Probably, we're looking at the quarter, we're looking at it from 3 months ago, so we're not looking at it today. I tend to think this is more of a selling opopportunity.
The adult Chuck E. Cheese.
I like
that's what I call it.
It is, man. It's fun.
Who doesn't
Chuck
like
E. Cheese? I'm not even gonna. You guys don't even want to hear the Chuck E. Cheese stories.
Oh, Chuck E. Cheese stories.
I almost got in a fight. I almost got in a fight in the Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, maybe you got to tell us.
No, I'm not gonna.
Too many stories.
Yeah, people don't like stories. They just want trade. That's what they want.
Joel can be scrappy at times.
This one's set up well, Mitch. We were talking about this on At the Close show, and I like this setup because you had that recent low, and I don't think it was quite the low of the move, but you had this recent low at like 31, and you went to 38. You know how I love my retracements. So I came back right around halfway. 34 was low here, 34 was low here. So I like the setup on the long side. Didn't take it on the long side. We're trading at the highs of the pre-market session. That's a good sign, 39.17. And I'll just give you a zone here. And I see three highs from 39.11. Looks like from 39.11 like to 39.40. So potential area of resistance, 39.11, 39.53. So let's call 39.40. And then 40 might be a big whole number. Haven't been up there in a while, but that's what I'm looking at. Once again, looks like mild pre-market support at 37.50.
All right, it's 8:30. I think we're gonna get some jobs numbers, right? So
no, we had that last week.
Oh, there
we
you go.
got PPI. Do we have PPI? I think something did come.
Do we
out
have
at
something? Yeah, PPI.
I'm pretty sure it's
0.7 versus 0.6.
Okay.
That's what we got.
What do we get? What was the number?
0.7 versus 0.6.
Nah, that's a nothing burger.
Excluding food and energy, 0.6 versus 0.5. Spoos are like sleeping on this number.
Oh, yeah,
TLT.
That's a nothing burger.
This is
I don't know if anybody follows PPI anymore.
Let's go ahead.
Nothing. Moving on.
Let's transition.
Show must go
that
on.
was
without
great. You would have to
PPI.
go wide on that one. That would have been funny, Dennis.
You want to go Krogering? Let's go.
Let's go Krogering.
You can go Krogering. I mean,
Yeah.
they had their earnings. Let me go ahead.
This had high expectations going in. Give us the numbers here.
You want to give the report?
Yeah, I got it here. This took a little while in the morning to get it. Was already, I think it came out at 8.
Oh, someone's got
Just
their
right
foot
at
on
8
the
o'clock.
pedal.
All right.
Who is that? Is that Warren out there selling?
EPS at 80 cents beat a 64-cent estimate. Sales were at 31.68 and beat a 30.68 billion estimate. So, I mean, a beat and a beat. But as you guys can see, they're not loving it.
Expectations were super high for Kroger. And the reason is because of Warren. You know, we know Warren had increased the size of the position. This stock has had an incredible run. This is Kroger. This isn't a tech growth stock. It's Kroger. It's a grocery store. And this stock has been running for the, and you know, and I'm kind of mad because obviously I was long it a couple of times, but since July from 37 and then we got up all the way to $48. You know, we're talking about 25-30% rise in a grocery store. So the expectations were higher for Kroger. So they come out, the numbers are fine here. They were fine. But at the same time as this, you know, story was just, you know, too high expectations. So couldn't get over the bar. We're getting hit here this morning. It was getting bought even ahead of this report, Joel. Like it was getting bought up at 47. And then the number came out, it's up at 47. So they pull the rug out from under it, under the hot story. I'd let the dust settle a little bit. And I was just saying, you know, on stocks that are hot stories, good, you know, maybe you buy the dips on them. Is Kroger that stock? Is Kroger that, you know, growth story? I don't know if it is. So I'm just going to let the dust settle here. If Kroger was to come down in the low 40s, I think there's an opportunity there because I do believe the company has turned themselves around nicely. But it's not that sexy growth story. It's not the Etsy. It's not, you know, even the GameStop, which everybody talks about GameStop all the time. Like the story, I don't like the story. The story is still hot. It's talked about on a continuous basis in the media and everywhere. And then what was the one that was dipping? Oh, Affirm. You know, and Affirm having the dip. You know, those are the opportunities when the stories are still cooking and still hot. You know, you get a pullback in like CrowdStrike. That's probably, you know, a pullback that, you know, it's this hot story. Cybersecurity isn't going away. Kroger, I'm going to lay off on the dip on this one.
A couple things on Kroger. I mean, if you're a real bull here and you think this 43.67 low is going to hold, that was a low back from August 17th. And what did we just tick there? 43.56. So I gave that one to you a little bit late. That's a daily low. If you're looking for more downside, this $43 area today looks interesting because it was resistance and then you broke up and then you got a little gap in that area. So you got a nice bounce off that 43.67. Longer term, maybe look for 43. And just one tip, when Michigan is away or I don't go to the home game, I make these famous sandwiches, Georgia Rubens after Zigerman's. And the only coleslaw that I can use for this sandwich comes from Kroger's. I have to go to Kroger's to get
it's a turnaround story. I will tell you that. Kroger has turned
Kroger's coleslaw,
around.
folks.
But did it get ahead of itself when it went from 38 to 48 in the better part of a month? I think so. I think it got ahead of itself. Needs a cool off period. So I shouldn't say I wouldn't buy the dip in Kroger. I may just not buying on day one. Sometimes you can buy them on day one, and sometimes they do bounce right back. And maybe it does close green. I mean, we're still in price discovery here. It could turn around and bounce back. It could do anything, but I don't think it's an easy pitch to hit. You know, just because I'm like, I'm not coming and buying the dip doesn't necessarily mean it might not just come back and rip back.
Who knows?
I will say, an easy setup.
45 resistance too. If you're doing a little scalping here and you're picking it up and it gets near the bottom of yesterday's range, 45.21, maybe if you scoop it up on the cheap. I don't know. I just think you had all those lows at 45, the low yesterday, 45.21. So 43.85 to 44.85. How's that for a projection?
Well, they want your sandwiches out there, Joel. So
oh man,
you got given the recipe.
I wish I had some pictures of them.
Let's go ahead and take a quick look. I know there's a stock that's moving mentioned right now in the chat, SOS. I know that a lot of kind of this trades with Bitcoin for a while. It was a big mover. It just reported first half sales of 184.5 million. They also gave out
some money
financial results. It's pushing right now. Recent mover, just started pushing. So just want to at least note that. And someone in the chat called it out. So let's go ahead and let's keep it going. I want to get.
Well, come on. You got a level like this, and you're coming up on a level, Mitch, and you're not going to mention it? Do you
Well,
have the
I mean,
look at this
$3.
thing? $3. Come on. That's what folks want to know. $3.
303, 304,
the whole
304, $3 major resistance.
$3. Okay.
Price is that options on this thing? Could be options there too. So
I don't know.
stoppers.
It looks like a YOLO type of stock. I'd say that at least.
Yeah. Okay.
I definitely could see it happening.
Trade alert. $3.
Paid attention to it on live trading, so we got a show after this. We'll be taking a look. I'm sure Zunaid will take a look at that one. Let's go ahead and let's get into Kathy Wood selling 138.5 million of Tesla shares.
Been selling Tesla for a while.
2 straight sessions, guys. So let's take a look at Tesla.
Why? Because here she is. She's talking about 3,000. I heard her talk on, I don't know where it was, just a few days ago, saying it's going to 3,000. Why does she keep dumping Tesla? Well, so I mean, she is not. She's talking, her book. She owns Tesla, but she is selling Tesla. She's been selling Tesla for a while here. So I guess you're just buying dips and selling rips. And Tesla's moved up $100 in the last 3 weeks, and maybe she just thinks I'm going to get some shares back cheaper. But I don't know. I mean, if you're that bullish and you think it's going to 3,000, I don't know why you're selling at 759.
Oh, just maybe better opportunity somewhere else, or just
she buys that UIpath every day though. UIpath, PATH. Cramer was pumping that one last night.
Oh well, it's up. I didn't even know Kathy's selling. Oh, you got a big area
She's
again.
Been buying that one. Oh yeah, Tesla.
760. Look at this, and Raz alert. You got to get through let's call it 765. I see 3 highs, 760, 764.45. So potential resistance there. What's the other one? IPA. What one she buying?
PATH path. It's UIpath. CEO was on Mad Money last night. Kramer was like, "This one is cheap enough that he'd buy it." So he was talking it up. It's
I love when he says that.
Yeah, sometimes there's there opportunities, sometimes they're not. But up a buck, you're 67 cents pre-market. This thing was trying to catch the fallen knife.
Yeah. Get to 58. What's yesterday's high? Are we even through yesterday's high yet? Boom. We're not even through yesterday's high, folks. So don't get all happy until
I'm
you
not
get
all
over
excited about that one yet.
50. Okay.
Although Kramer can turn stocks around.
Yeah.
So you got to respect him. When he says he's not surprised. It's up today. Well, it's up today. The overall market's up. But it's also up because CEO was on Mad Money and Kramer.
I like it though. I like the the chart here because if you love Kramer and you want to lean on that low from yesterday, 53.50.
They could do that.
Yeah.
The Peloton worked.
Dennis,
we talked about the double bottom.
Will you be my Peloton? When you tell Lisa to sell Peloton? When you
it worked yesterday. We set the trade up for like 98.5 pre-market.
You did, not me.
I'm like, you can lean on that double bottom, the 96.05, and boom, $10. That would have been a nice trade.
That was a good. That was all you. I'm just kind of like I don't look at it that much on a short term position because I just want the hell out of it. But
so.
I just wanted to tick 130. But
is that where she said you can sell? 130?
Yeah, and that was our original area. I think we bought it at like 26 or 27, where we got the most.
We all bought at the same time. Me, you, and Raz. We all bought at the same time. I bought it because of COVID. I was like, this one's gonna benefit from actually this is one of those stocks that benefits from COVID. This was before we had the reopening trades and the stay-at-home trades. I was just like, how's Peloton not work better in this environment? I never liked it at all before that, but I turned around and bought it. But I sold it at 40. Oops. Raz, I think, held a lot longer, and then you've held forever. So, that's genius. I know, obviously, our buddies over at Dumb Money there, too. Chris Camilo bought Peloton same time as well, and he's still holding, I think, too. So you and Chris are still holding strong. I'm not sure if Raz is still in or not.
Yeah, you know what the thing is that like this is a stock that you want to cheer against, because you don't want, COVID. You want everything completely back to normal. So they're like, I'm torn. Can the stock survive in the the people call it the new normal. Dana hates that. I call it the new abnormal. But I mean, you get gyms I don't know. I'll be back. I mean, it's starting to get. It was 55 yesterday when I swam. It's 54 today. I didn't because I had to get up, dressed up to go downtown. So
Quick
I don't know.
question,
I'm
Joel.
torn. Let's fill the gap. I'd just be happy if this thing filled the gap. Trading up 42 cents, 107.50. What was the high on the gap down day? I think it was right here too. Good level, folks. 2-star, 3-star level, 108.80 if you're looking for a target today, and then it gets into the gap.
Joel, quick question. Do you do any other workouts on Peloton, or do you just do the bike?
I do. When I do the bike, I use there's some that you can do the arms, and
There you go.
Yeah, I do like 50-pound.
All right. So
can't you tell, Mitch? Look at those pipes.
It's good. It's yeah. I do the weights.
No one's messing with Joel at the Michigan game. Let's go ahead. Let's keep going.
I get close enough.
Let's go to the next one here. I want to talk a little bit about one that is moving. It's a cheaper stock this morning, but it does have a catalyst up about 24%. ENDP. This one's all about trading higher after the company announced it settled its New York State opiate case and provided an update on the remaining opiate litigation. So pretty much a good news for them. They're definitely bouncing back. The question is this just a kind of sell the rally kind of thing? We'll see.
I think so.
This is easy level Friday.
Easy level Friday. I like it.
I mean, you got 3 highs at 270 that you haven't taken out, and then it really opens up after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all you can say.
Yeah, that gap fill.
I mean,
there's a gap up there. I don't know if you're going to get into it or not. Everybody and their grandma is down money in this stock. I mean, this is the one thing you want. The pain trade. This ENDP has been the epic pain trade since this thing went up to $10.89 back in February. It's been straight down. There's so much overhead supply everywhere. Everybody please come back to 3. I'll sell. Please give me my money back at 350. Please give me my money back at 4. This is why it's tough for these stocks to just bounce back when they're this much in. It could get
reddited now. It could get reddited.
Yeah, it could, but it already has been. Was this a Reddit stock ever?
I don't know.
Why did it rally back in February when all the Reddit stocks were rallying? That's what I wonder if this was a Reddit stock. Because some of those old Reddit stocks that have hit the gutter, have obviously not worked out. Yeah, some did, but a lot didn't. Not all of them are AMC. I guess AMC isn't a Reddit stock. They'll get mad at me for that. AMC is a stock.
Did we have a guest today or not?
We did, and we had Craver. I'm not sure exactly where he is. I know Spencer sent him the confirmation. I'll reach out to him, but I think now being 8:44, I don't think he's gonna make it.
No, Ryan Craver. We love Ryan Craver.
Guess what? We still got you guys out there. How about you guys do us a favor? If we get 500 likes, we'll do an extended ticker time starting right now, guys.
500 likes.
I want
like the show. We need your help. I want to do ticker time. We're only at 259. We're in real trouble here.
That's what I'm saying. You guys got to start helping us out.
We're in real trouble for 500.
I haven't been pushing today early, but let's go ahead. Let's talk about
Give us a couple more
that I have right now. I took BLDE. We normally talk about this pattern on SPACs attack, but I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about it.
Sure.
There's been these SPACs making these big, massive rips. One of the big ones is EFTR. And then yesterday, we also had another one take a monster rip out, which was OPAD, OPAD. So we've been seeing these massive moves in SPACs. This has a lot to do with floats and also just straight squeezes. And you have to be quick on these trades because, as you can see,
they don't last.
OPAD, they don't last, right?
Yeah, they don't last.
One of the things I recommend is definitely you have to have an ability to do some direct routing, especially in a trade like this where it's going to be so quick. But hey, I'm definitely keeping these on open. I took Blade yesterday. I'm up about 40 cents on the name, and we'll see if it continues to run today.
Why? What's the story behind this? Why can this one run? I don't know anything.
Well, this one got some good catalyst. And the catalyst yesterday, I'll go ahead and I'll bring up the catalyst. But for me, it also could just do the same thing. Just get that squeeze kind of run. Also, look at the volume put in yesterday, 8 million compared to the day prior, which was only 362,000 shares.
That's what I noted. on that. Yep. Yep.
That stands out to me already. Now, one thing is, of course, this one has like some resistance up to 1150. So, I mean, I might sell up there. We start getting up there to that level. But they did have the news yesterday, which was that they are taking. So it was trading higher after the company announced an agreement with Trinity Air Medical for $23 million and a potential contingent consideration. So it gave them an ability to innovate, not just only be about kind of air mobility, their helicopter. Now this is definitely one of those that I would say you have to put into the pre-revenue. There's not much revenue here on the actual stock, so the fundamentals don't put upwards right now, but the technicals sure
are. Look left instead of right. Let's see. Yesterday's high, 1056. Close probably right there, 1044. See, bid. If it's bid, hold
yeah,
there.
it's wild enough too that I wouldn't be surprised if thing sees 11, but I see all those pesky highs, Joel, from 11 to 1150, and I think, is this thing just blasting off to 15 or something like that? I don't know. I see a lot of resistance up there. Once you get to 11, it gets a little bit tougher. I see pretty smooth sailing to 11. After that, it gets dicey.
Okay. No, I agree. I agree on that one.
All right, guys, we need 80 more likes. Let's go. Let's get it up.
Oh my goodness, that was pretty good, Mitch. So Mitch is good with the likes, man. He figures out a way to get these guys to like our show.
I mean, I'm trying to give them the value, right? That's what it's all about.
I love this.
You guys to put some tickers in there.
If there was a love button, it would get hit a lot more than the like
that's
button,
what it's about.
That's what they're torn, because they don't like the show. They love the show.
Definitely. So I just wanted to at least call out that pattern, because it definitely has been happening. And the question is, will any of these kind of hold their runs? As you can see, a lot of them are making the runs, but quickly coming right back down. All right, let's go ahead. Let's start. Maybe I'll go to the chat. I mean, I see 463. We're getting up there. We need 30 more. 30 more. Let's go ahead.
All right, what else you got?
All right, let's start taking one from the chat here. So I like this one. Let's take a look at sprtsupport.com. You know,
these are all small companies.
Yeah,
we talked this one, and then when this thing was $39, and I said this was a selling opportunity because it had the big blow off candle up to 60, and it obviously went straight down after that, and it's been going straight down since then. Put the nice little double bottom, and technically 1750. I'm calling this a double bottom, Joel, and it's not really double bottom. 1757, 1855. Looking at those 2 days, calling because it was so wild. So you get a little relief pop here. I know there's been some people on social media talking the stock up. Typically I don't think you're going back to these 50 highs. I think that was the upside capitulation move. I do think you got a few people caught in this thing, so I'd be more of a seller of rallies, but these things are wild. These are social media stocks that has been talked a lot about in social media. So, if social media starts picking it up again and starts running, these things can go anywhere. They're driven by social media. Social media starts to cool on them, they come back in. But there's, a handful of these stocks that are just driven by social media.
Down 75 cents. Wow, yesterday's low. Man, this thing moves around. Is that really? I thought I was looking at a monthly. Yesterday's low at 2163.
Wild.
So I don't think you're going to see that today. I don't know for sure. But the fact that you traded up a couple strong days and now you're trading down 81 cents, where the close is important to me now. And that closing price from yesterday is 2602. So I'm looking at that for resistance. And then if you feel like you have to buy the dip, it had a 10-point move since Tuesday. So if it gets into the lower 22 handle, 22 and a half, 23, maybe a lower risk trade leading on yesterday's low. One thing if you're really looking for Rip City in this one, then you got to clear the pair of highs at 29. I mean, no doubt about that. 29 even, 29.17 for SPRT.
All right, let's go to a little bit of a bigger stock here. We got Zoom.
Let's get some real stocks.
Let's go with Zoom.
Zoom. I love Zoom.
It's clear resistance at 302. So 300 to 302. You're consolidating here. It's been hit. This is obviously a stay-at-home play. If Delta starts to spread more and more, if for whatever reason, and that's a possibility, then Zoom starts to pick up. But there's, the few pure stay-at-home plays, and Zoom is one of them. So Zoom is not benefiting. And obviously valuation's always been an issue. And we've talked about them being a one-trick pony, and they need to get another trick, or they risk
exactly,
or they risk going, obviously a lot lower just because the revenue stream from everybody going to Zoom, the competition even coming in that arena is starting to intensify. But Zoom is best. They've done everything well. The company's been a fantastic company. It's always been valuation. Can they get back up above 302 and start to fill the gap? It doesn't look like it yet, but
clear
until it
resistance.
gets over 302, I'm not interested.
And Kathy was buying on the day of the dip, and boy, do I still have that. When you look at Kathy stocks, and this was a while ago, you could just tell this was this the day? How far do I have? What day was it that it got killed? I don't have it, but there was. It goes back too far in the 15-minute. But Kathy bought a chunk down there.
Does.
Maybe she's just scalping out of it here at 300. But once you get above that gap,
not. She's just buys the dip on any company. She's about the story, man. And you know what? She's done very well in the last 5 years because storied stocks. If you have just thrown valuation and say forget about valuation, I'm just trading on the story. You've been making money. And, Kathy Wood does that. Kathy Wood doesn't care about valuation. She cares about growth, and she cares about a hot story. And Zoom has had that. At a certain point in time, these stories do cool off. And, if you don't get out when the getting's good, sometimes it can get ugly. And, is it getting good now at 300 when it was at 400? Or even, obviously, it was above that. It was over 500 at one time. You can say, oh, well, this is 588. Wow, it was up to 588. So basically, it's been cut in half. It's a 50% off sale at Zoom. Is 296 warranted, or do you think it could eventually go lower? I don't know. It's at a point in time where it's not cheap enough from a valuation perspective to really be attractive, but is it still a growth story? I don't know what it is.
They need something else. They need
they need more products for sure. That's why it's Peloton. There's a venturing off into like apparel because they realize they're cutting the price of the bikes. People are starting to go outdoors. They're doing some more things. That exponential growth that they've been experiencing isn't going to be sustainable in that product. So they're looking for more revenue streams.
Even I could use it. I mean, it's a great product.
All right, let's go to another one here. I don't think we've talked about this one in a while. LMT by Quebec here being brought up. Let's go ahead. Lockheed Martin.
Almost back to where I bought it. I put this in the long-term portfolio at 330. And, it obviously went up to 390. This is long-term investing for you. You think, oh, yeah, I'm doing great. And then all of a sudden, like that's 3-4 months later, it's come all the way back down. That's why I've been a lot more consistent with my trading than my long-term investing because I ring the register on these. But I love the company long-term. I don't think LMT, this business is just, the dividend's 2.97%. It is a growth business still. I think, obviously they're leader in space. You think about, if you can see about all the space plays. LMT is a space play as well. So I love the company just because it's got a decent valuation and it's a way to play the space trade.
You're coming into some weekly support here. You actually breached that 352. You're below that. I mean, not a lot to say. I mean, maybe an undercut. You had two lows in the one same area, so maybe you have a little accumulation going, and then you got to undercut the two lows and you attempt rally. So if you're trying to pick a bottom, that's way down at 340. Where was the low from? No, not 342. I mean, swing trade, 3 lows under 350. Maybe some big boys are trying to accumulate that at 350. So keep an eye on that 47.86 low. No wars on the horizon, so I don't know. It's out of favor right now.
Well, I definitely thank the chat out there and everybody watching for smashing that like. We're past 500. We're at 536 now, and that's what it's all about. Thank you guys for giving us your opinion. Like I always say, I know Dennis and Joe hate when I say this. I just want your opinion. Like it or unlike it, just let me know what you guys think of today's show.
And we also just love the chat because they give us so many good ideas. I mean, I look at the tickers go through, and then I look at some of these charts, and then I look, and think about the stories, and I'm like, oh, I like that story.
I mean, that's how I came in, right, Dennis? You remember my workhorse call out in the chat that you ended up seeing and making your own decision, but that's what it's all about, guys. We're definitely out there helping each other and building the community. Let's go to one that
let's go to Wells Fargo.
Let's go to Wells Fargo.
Because Triple D has a story on this one. It's the story.
Do I have a story?
Yeah, Wells Fargo. Your peanut memory. You don't remember Wells Fargo? You were
Oh yeah, I
complaining
was
about
trading it, and I don't know, like, so I was, I was out there, and sometimes I do some market making after hours, and I got hit on a bid on Wells Fargo. It just all of a sudden started trading really actively about a minute and a half before that press release. It started going
a
nuts, and then the
minute and
press
a
release
half.
hits, and it was a press release, a PR. So it's all going out to everybody at the same time. I'm like, who the heck had that press release before? Because if you look at the volume spike, you'll see on Wells Fargo, it happens about a minute and a half before the press release. So not sure, not saying, I don't know, but I got hit and then I got lifted at the same time. So very interesting. It worked out in my favor. I got hit on a bid like 30 cents down, and then I threw it off, and I got lifted the other way too because it was chopping around ahead of the press release. And then it really chopped around on the press release. So
So you
I don't
didn't
know.
trade. You were in and out before the press release.
Pretty much. I got hit, and I was like, I don't see any news on this. And I'm asking other traders, you see something on Wells Fargo? I'm like, no, nobody sees anything on Wells Fargo. And then I just got lifted on it too. I'm like, it's just got to be news on this. And then the PR hits, and I'm like, who the heck's trading on this thing a minute and a half before the news?
You.
Well, yeah, but I was on the other side, so I'm fading. Usually you're losing on those things, but somehow made money.
You ain't
So.
fading, you ain't trading. Boy, so this guy, was this the same news that knocked this thing off its keister after it put the triple top in just under $50? What was that? I mean, was this the news? Because what I'm thinking is that, they didn't think that fine was that bad.
Yeah, that's what they're thinking.
Yeah, that's what they
Fine's not that
walloped
bad.
this thing.
I kind of agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a little slap in the wrist, but man, they wailed on that thing, and they used the initial news to spank it, and then the actual news coming out to cover $45. I mean, let's see if we could do 45. We're above 45 right now. If you can find something between 45 and 46, then you must be taking that CMT course along with Mitch, because I don't see anything between 45 and 46.
All right, we got another tip here, Quebec, giving us a little profit sharing. There you go. That's what I like to hear. But at the end of the day, to me, I even gotten to the point where Genie has become like where I don't even want to talk about it, because it became an investment, and I don't want to look at it as a trade. I know how
don't look at
talks about it, and these are those types of stocks that where I'm trying to get just hands off now, because I've taken enough profit in this one that I'm okay with just the profit I take, even if I break even on the rest. Now I'm just letting this one work. I believe in the company long term, so I'm going to hands off. I'm going to try to get some better taxes on this and hold it for over a year. We'll see what happens with this.
I mean, there is tax breaks, and then that's something. In Canada, it's different. It's just 50%, capital gains, but it's a little different setup. But I mean, in your trading account, when you're actively trading, it's like I said, break trading, everything's 100% tax, so I don't have to worry about tax consequences. But I absolutely consider the taxing implications in my long-term portfolio.
Don't like the candle from yesterday. You are getting a little bit of a pop, but just you did get the follow through on the big green candle right on the earnings day, and then you got a big red candle. So we're trading up in the pre-market. You hit $23. 21.73 was your low from yesterday. I would keep an eye on that if you come back down again. I'm calling for an inside day, perhaps in Genie, Geni.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get one more here from the chat before we get you on out of here, Joe. And you go to PreMarket Plus.
Yeah, and for PreMarket Prep Plus subscribers, I got a special announcement coming on Monday. Got a special event for September 28th. Yep. Stay tuned.
All right. I got multiple requests for this one, so I'm going to go.
What is it?
Bring it up. It's Coin, of course. They're
Coin. What's going on with Coinbase?
To see the bottom, in Coin is to me. This is one of those charts that I like looking at, maybe the weekly or the monthly, because it just shows you it hasn't really moved.
Yeah, look at Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I already started the show talking that I was concerned about Bitcoin going into this weekend. So I'm not going long Coin if I'm concerned about Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's rallying right back and snapping back, and maybe it does in Coinbase. But I mean, you got to look at Bitcoin. And Coinbase is actually a lower beta way to play Bitcoin, believe it or not. There's, obviously the high beta trades. We talked about the Mara and the Riot, MSTR. It's a lower beta Bitcoin play. So it doesn't matter what this chart looks like. It matters what Bitcoin looks like. So the Bitcoin chart looked a little bit 3 days tight range after a big down move. I'm always scared of that follow through to the original move, which was down. So I wouldn't be surprised Bitcoin has another leg down.
Well, it's only September 10th, with my sister's birthday today. Happy birthday, Elise, if you're listening. So looking at this on a monthly candle chart, you failed it at the August high. Not good. 80.91, 80.61. You failed at 78.87. And you took out last month's low. That's not good. So the month is not going so well. I'll look there is a pair of lows. You're a short-term trader. Next stopping point, possible stopping point, pair of lows. Let's just call it 248 and a quarter. Your August 26th low, 48 and a half. Your August 27th low, 48.09. I'm late for pre-market prep plus. Mitch, I'll be seeing you in about 2 hours and 40. Hope I can remember. Are the roads still open downtown? I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find my way back to the office. But Mitch, I'll be
good old
seeing...
mother Google will get you there, so no worries.
Oh, yeah. Siri. Everybody hates when do you guys use Siri a lot? Do you ask Siri all these things? I do, and they're like,
I use, believe it or not, Siri to control my TV more than I use it to ask
you just gotta be careful because Siri doesn't. You say something, and Siri doesn't always put the right thing in there. So, anyways, I'm gonna hop over to Pre-Market Prep Plus. Mitch, I'll see you in a couple hours. Triple D, you be safe out there.
We'll see you, Joel. All right, Dennis. Any of the final words for the weekend?
I'm fading the rally.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this, and I've actually been selling some stocks here, and I'm going to continue to sell some stocks here today, and the trading aspect of it. I'm fading this rally to a certain extent. I think yesterday spooked me a little bit. We had a few stocks getting hit. Now you get the snapback rally. I think it's more of a sell the rip market here today. Just my thoughts.
All right, we'll see what happens there. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you, Dennis. Like always, guys, let's go ahead and let's talk about what do we have to offer you guys for more value. I got something exactly this Saturday for you guys. Let's take a look here. So if you guys want to go ahead and get some boot camp education here, guys, definitely grab your free ticket. You can register for free, benzinga.com/event/bootcamp. If you look on the right where the comments are, you'll see it pinned up. You can click that link and it'll take you right to here. Go ahead and register, and one lucky winner will win $1,000 worth of Dogecoin. You don't want to miss out. On September 11th, we're bringing together the best trading educators we know for a full day of education to help you become better traders. We got people like Tim Quast, Anne-Marie Brand. We got Mark that's running our Benzinga trading school. You guys want to be there. Come learn some technicals. Come learn some stories, some fundamentals. And I guarantee you guys will get something out of the boot camp. Let's go ahead. Like always, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe. And what can I say? Guys, check it out. Riding the wave to the boot camp. That's what I feel like when I hear that music. Yeah, that's some good tunes right there. I'm going to definitely be there. You guys don't miss out. And another profit on Genie. Hey, Brian, appreciate it. At the end of the day, I don't try to give out picks. I try to really talk about my process, my 3-variable approach. It's always about story, fundamentals, and technicals, guys. If all 3 match up for me, that's when I try to go swinging and have those high conviction trades. For me, Genie was one of those because the story was looking great. A lot of partnerships, a lot of interest. You look at the fundamentals, they've just been getting so many partnerships that the bottom line has definitely been coming up. And then when you look at the technicals, it all made sense. And that's what it's all about, is just trying to learn what is your process. For me, it was combining multiple variables to help me get into the best probable trades. It's not just about taking, for me, 100 trades. It's about taking 20 of the best trades. So that's how I like to go at it, and I appreciate the tips. At the end of the day, that definitely shows us some love. So you guys smash that like button. Looks like we got towards 623 likes. I appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and start up live trading real soon. Normally we started up at like 9:15. I'm just going to get it started because I know that Zunaid, Ryan, they're going to be looking at their watch list. I can talk a little bit about some stocks that I have right now. As you guys know, I swung Blade into the day, so I got some day trades also to make today. Let's have some fun. You guys get on right over there. This will take you right over, redirect right over. You don't have to do anything at all. Matt Hammond wants to talk about TMC and BKSY. Hey, Matt, come on over to live trading. I'll definitely check those out. We'll see you guys next time on Pre-Market Prep. And like always, guys, you guys check out that boot camp. It's going to be fun. I'll see you guys there. And up next, you got, of course, live trading. We'll see you there, guys.